Behind the scenes of how you make a ramp. Look at this. This is how it actually works. See, you gotta test the wheels. That's important. This is how it really works. Don't believe the other video. This is the real video right here. Yeah.
We have measured this side. It's supposed to be... Man, you guys are all up in the way.
We are in the way.
It's supposed to be like this bottom ramp. So this top piece is the notch piece here. 1.5 tall, 1.7, 1.25 tall, 1.75 deep. And that's that marking right there. And then we made this straight line here with the chalk line. Red chalk line. And then this curved line.
This right here is steel wire.
Steel wire. What is it?
It's for pulling things through walls.
What's that thing?
Steel tape.
Steel tape wire
It's for
doohickey.
fishing stuff through walls.
And it's rigid
Wall fishing. We're gonna fish some walls.
It's about the kind of angle that we're looking for. Pliable? Oh, okay, sweet. So I kind of
you just choose your angle and then you
bend it to my needs. That's a little. That's a little too deep, Gary.
A little too deep. All right. Yeah. A little less steep. Is that better? A little more steep, less deep.
Okay, so that's about. I want this side to not be very vertical.
Okay.
So it's a slope. And then this side has to kind of here's the flat line dot that we have right next to our mark dot, and it needs to stay at least somewhat along that so that I'm flat by the time I get off the ramp. So hopefully that works.
Look at that.
The wheels are round.
This is how you know that a ramp works.
And the ramp is
This is science right here.
Therefore,
This is science, not Matchbox cars.
therefore, the round wheels will touch the round ground,
I think we need square wheels for this.
create round contact.
See, all the ramp square,
round.
but like the wheels round. We need to have square wheels.
Triangular round.
Wow, 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 wow.
With the circular saw, and we realized that wasn't the right thing to use. So we have this. What is this, Dennis?
It's a jigsaw.
Jigsaw.
This right here is a brand new Makita jigsaw.
Uh-huh.
Cut through wood, ceramic, dogs, whatever you need cut.
Not dogs. Not dogs. Just wood. Just wood. No, it's okay, buddy. Okay, so we got the foot aligned there. Whoops.
That's how you work with power tools.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Safety.
Safety third.
Yeah. It works. It's fine. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there we go.
Done. See how sturdy this crap is? Too bad it didn't give way until the very last second.
Yeah.
Dennis hella good at the jigsaw.
Yeah.
That's better than I could have done.
Look at that.
Something.
It's life really easy if we just do that.
Smooth that shit is.
It is. It's super smooth. I love that shit. So I'm saying, if we actually cut it right next time, we won't have to do the thing. And it's not your fault, it's because it's line. But if we smooth it,
Yeah, we need it all.
we need some kind of
Hi, baby.
circular sander thing. Something like a drill attachment for a sander or something.
Because of the tool we used to make the curve, that metal wire, the cutting on it is just a little bit shaky, and from the pencil marks, whatever. So to even that out, we got a sander. Tell them about the sander, Dennis.
This here is a Makita sander, corded. It sands stuff.
Okay. And then we're gonna sand this down to smooth it out, and then we have our other wood here. Yeah. Okay, so this is what we have so far with the sanding. It's leveled out a lot. It's a lot smoother. It's a lot more the curve we're wanting. A lot less wonky. Looking better. Okay. Here we have the piece that we just filed down. That's the filed piece. And we put another board onto the little foot thingies. And we're going to trace out this shape in the other boards after we clamp them together. We're going to trace it out.
Clamps.
What is it, Gary?
What?
What is it?
What is what?
Give them the what?
Give them the clamps.
Give them the clamps.
Give them the clamps.
Clamps. I know, the clamps.
Yeah, C-clamps.
Ah.
See, this here, kid, this here's called a C-clamp. It's because it's kind of shaped like a capital G, I think.
You don't know.
I never did get no alphabets learning.
You're silly.
Oh, the markers?
Here's a pencil.
Actually, I like the pencil better.
Okay.
Here. Okay, so now we take off the clamps. And underneath
To reveal my beautiful art.
will be the drawing. Oop. Ta-da!
Almost looks round.
Alright. Board number 2. So here we have the 3 boards stacked up. This is the jig, whatever that means, which...
It's a thing that helps you guide.
Alright, well, this is the thing.
Yeah.
That's the stencil, right. This is the stencil one that we had already grinded down and sanded, and then we're going to clamp them together so that we can sand it down again and make them all even. Clamp it.
Look, you gotta get the womping.
Gotta give it the womping.
This is how you get them straight, even.
Super even.
With the wop.
Get the wops. Gotta wop it. Wop it for straightness. Still a little bit.
Pretty straight.
Wop
This is nice
Wop it up
and
here.
straight.
I'm not going to change it. All that's going to do is fuck this up. But these sides are good.
Okay. Well, that's fine. We'll
Alright.
sand it then. Alright.
A little bit lopsided on the side, but whatever.
That's what sanding is for.
Sanding.
You sand it all together.
Sanding.
This is important.
Important.
Isolate the crotch.
Isolate the crotch. Don't forget to isolate the crotch.
Yes, you gotta sand it with your crotch. There. There with the crotch. The only way to properly sand. right there. Oh, hi! So we finally finished the yard. We've buried the pipe and we've dug a couple of wells that we've also buried, and now we have the half pipe started. We brought, what are these again, Dennis? 2x4s and the what's this called again? Plywood. I was gonna call it hardwood. It is very hard plywood. And so we started the markings on where we're gonna have the 2x4s.
Yep.
Where we're gonna have the 2x4s on the ramp. This way it goes this way. Most of these go short ways, short side up, and then this one is the long side this way, and then the rest of them go back to being in like that. And this one, they're all spaced out 8 inches apart, except for this top side, which is a little less room. And what did it go, Dennis?
8, 8, 8, 7.5.
Say hi, Gary.
No.
Gotta hold it with my fingers. There it is. We finished this side, and instead of getting the other side of this ramp, we are getting this corner of the same side, and we're laying it flat ways instead of long ways, because this way,
Get more rigidity whenever you move it.
what he said. Okay, well, now that we got the 2 bottom ones down,
Further over this way, and then we do this side.
and we can do this side. Yay! Now we get to this side. Got that? That first. And that long ways. That one. And now this one. This side even, because the patio is not totally level. We got the board
Yeah, that one felt more.
level.
They were moist in the basement.
And then
It's not even just that.
we put a
They don't store
bottle
any air
cap
conditioning.
under this side so that it would be straight. Do you need the bottle cap back?
No, it's fine.
Okay. But that side does not need the bottle cap. Now for the next 2, you have to hold it up.
For my next trick, I'll need a lovely assistant.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gary. Good enough for your work.
And these 2 boards go this way. And then this board here is gonna go this way.
Could I get another screw bit?
Box of screws. You need a box of screws for this project. This one was a little hard to get in. You had to punch it.
Just gotta punch it.
Gotta give it a little bit of sweet fist loving.
Sweet, sweet fist. Yeah. Here you got an Aja. She's doing the thing. Yep. Yeah, impacted. Here you go. Yeah. Doing the stuff. Yeah.
That's some good stuff
Yeah.
action. Yeah. Yeah.
So we have taken what we finished here in this spot and we have picked it up and we have lifted it to the lawn with some difficulty, but it is less difficult if we'd have waited to put all of the pieces of wood onto it and made it a lot heavier. So try to put it in the space you want it before it weighs a bajillion pounds. Yes. The half pipe in the garage because of what?
Oh, because otherwise when it fucking rains for 4 days tomorrow, then it's going to get all warped and fucked up, so...
Alright, so you definitely want to have a place that you can keep your stuff in.
Unless you can finish it all in one day.
Unless you can finish it, paint it, all in one day.
Yeah, you have to finish and paint it.
We're going to paint it and then it'll be safe to put outside, but for now, it's in the garage. And it's pretty much done here. It's my grind rail on top of it, but this is done. We are on the patio again, using it because it is a flat enough ground surface than the ground, at least, especially after we dug up a bunch of pits. So, with the use of his trusty jig, his bottle cap jig, so he makes a straight, smooth attachment. Yeah. So this is the last of the drill side. We did bam, 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 and then this is the last one. Yeah. Okay, so we have the basic framing done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of wood attaching the sides, and we're moving it, the framing, all the way to the garage to work on it the rest of the way instead of just on the lawn because it is really heavy. It's really heavy. So we're gonna do that.
Alright, okay, so right here, what we got is, see there's a 1/4 inch gap right there. At the top, it's all flat, it's all flush. This board is bent in such a way that regardless of which way I flipped it, we couldn't catch all the boards, so just pointed it towards the side that's going to get the most weight the most frequently. And we're going to shim this up and then screw that in so that it has something to kind of give it a little more support.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we have the second half, the first half, the second part. And are we gonna build the middle tonight?
Yeah, we're gonna build middle.
Today?
Yeah, we're gonna build it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trust me,
Yeah. Woo. Ah. Okay.
When you're measuring stuff and standard or imperial American stuff, inches, we got your 1/8 mark right here because there's 8 of them right in between an inch, and then got your 1/8 mark, and then the next big one's 1/4 mark, and then the next one's 1/2 mark, right? So you need 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's our mark.
5/8, and we're doing the 5/8 because why?
Because those 2x4s are not 3 1/2; they're 3 5/8.
And we're making the middle part.
Yes.
And
Better chalk line.
out of this big piece of plywood and it's just gonna be a skinny board that we cut off the bottom. Doing the chalk line.
Yeah, got it. On the dot.
On the dot. Yeah.
Alrighty. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, it's so
Chalk.
on the dot. I can barely see the dot.
Perfect.
Perfect.
After marking out the plywood sides for the middle, cut them out using the jigsaw and attach them with 2x4s. I'm afraid I didn't get any footage of building the middle, but after we put everything in the garage to paint it, we moved it onto the lawn, and this is about where we got.
We're playing with sand.
Okay. Dennis, do you care to explain what you were doing?
I plead the fifth. I was never here.
Come on.
Right now we are getting these pavers level at the bottom of this so that it doesn't wobbly wobble when it does the screed thing.
The screed thing. Levelly level. Trying to make it go.
Trying to make it go, woo! Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that what we're trying to do? Yep. So, what did you say it was? This way?
Long ways, it's got a bit of pitch.
This ways is kind of getting uneven again.
Whatever. I don't really care about that.
But this ways is supposed to be like this, right? Kind of uneven.
Like that is because of the pitch of the yard. I wouldn't go dig another foot out of the yard. Plus, since this is
half
the
the
direction
yard
that the pipe goes anyway, whatever. Just
yeah.
Put rails up on the ends. Be all right.
So.
Main thing we were trying to avoid was side of the somebody gets launched out of the yard or the
Right. So the whole pitch or the whole tilt of this is gonna be like this way, slightly, you know, this way. But that's okay because the ramp thing just needs like yeah. The ramp just needs to be leveled this way so that we don't tilt into the house or out into the yard. And as long as it's this way, it doesn't matter so much if it's this way. This side will be easier, I guess, and this side will be the harder side. Whatever. Hey, Gary.
We need 4-inch bolts. Okay, so basically the bolts, we need 4-inch bolts to go through this thing. And these are not 4-inch bolts. This is what they suggested for the application. I don't know what the hell they thought this was going to go through, but nothing on here is going to take these damn bolts and go anywhere with it.
It would go through.
So,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go get other bolts.
So,
Okay.
the plans were not correct.
Yeah, they didn't tell me the right thing to grab. So now I got to go get the right thing.
Okay. Thank you, bad plans. We will fix this and then come back to it. Okay, so here we're starting to screw on some of the plywood. We have separated the thin plywood and the thicker plywood. There was more of the thicker plywood than the thinner plywood, but this part is going to be where you fall and skate on the most, so this part we wanted to make with the thicker plywood and the thinner plywood goes on top. We've placed it down so that we can kind of see. We're going to have to cut one of these a little bit to fit to these. We're doing it paneled this way just because it's fastest, and it's going to be this and then 2 layers of this smooth other plywood that's nice, and that's going to go on horizontally over these, and then we're going to clear coat it with that polyurethane to make it weatherproof and seal it. Yeah.
Look at all that stuff. So basically at the end here, we've got this little like 1 foot long piece that we're going to secure together. And we're basically, we have a middle strip because we didn't cut the whatever ½ inch off of the 2x4s originally, or what is it, 2 inches, 1.5 inches off. So we need to chop off of that. Either way, there's a 2 inch gap right there. So that's just, it doesn't really matter that much. And if we notice, we also didn't get the boards 100% in like the middle. So there's a little bit of an overhang on some of them. Not all of them, but some.
So what that was when we started off.
Not there. Not there. But
When we started off, instead of starting off up here, we should have started off up here because there's an 8-inch gap between each one. And then we wouldn't have the problem with the overhang in the middle.
Yep.
So, whatever, but since this is the very bottom layer...
Yeah, this one doesn't really matter that much. Asia in its natural habitat. Observing. You stuck in there? You don't know what you're doing. What are you doing in there? You don't know nothing.
At this point, I again didn't get footage of us screwing on the hardwood beechwood plywood, but only because it was so rigid it took all 3 of us with multiple drills to screw those pieces of wood into place, so we couldn't record. This is the wood people often ask me, how did you get it to bend? The answer is 3 people, 2 drills, and a lot of screws. And this is after a few coats of poly.
Okay, so after we put on, is this hardwood? What is this?
This is beechwood plywood. It's a hardwood plywood.
Okay, after we put this coat of like 3 of them on and then polyurethaned it twice, we sanded down the bolts and now we're taking this part off and we're gonna sand this down. Okay.
Testing out the ramp. Not all the way done, but pretty close.
We are the next day. We only got 2 coats of poly on it and managed to sand it. We wanted to make sure that this was really cured before we tried to caulk and poly it again, and then maybe paint it, and then coping.
So this right here is caulk. Okay. It's going in the expansion joints. When you're doing caulk, you always want to push because it's got to go in the crack.
Get in the crack.
Keep that in mind. Once you get your line across, you're going to take a butter knife or something similar and slick it.
Make it all smooth. Smooth like these.
Smear it. Smooth smear.
Yes, we smoothed out all of the screws, all over the top, all over the side. You can tell those ones are mine, they're little. And then you get these
Expansion joints.
cracks, the big long cracks that are all over this way. And then you seal them, because they need to be sealed, because they're cracks, right?
Can't get no water in there.
Yeah, no water.
No water in your crack.
Yeah.
Alright, so when we were using the slicker, the butter knife earlier for the tops, I realized later that this could have been done a lot easier with a glove.
Huh.
all you gotta do is just slick it with your finger. It's a lot easier, it's more precise, easier to get it flat. And that whole seam down here, did that with my finger and a glove. And it came out perfect. Push the caulk perfectly. So, pro tip, use gloves.
Use gloves. Show me your hands.
Oh yeah. That was from after I took the glove off.
Okay. So what you doing?
Alright, so right now we're putting the coping on.
We already cut this.
Coping is the metal part, yeah. They sell it in 10-foot sections, so you're going to have to cut it down to 8 feet if you're doing an 8-foot wide. So at this point, you're going to need metal bits, drill in the holes so that you can secure it into the 2x4s under it, beside it, so that it doesn't go anywhere. And that's what we're doing right now.
Okay.
A quick test run of the coping and the ramp. Yeah. Ooh. Super smooth. Yeah.